Yeah! Here we go!
It's time for TSS Fantasy.
It is Commissioner Cooper.
Hold on. That's a big balls move. Do you want your title?
Happy Sunday. Happy early morning trash football game.
Yes! We're back, baby! Let's go!
Feud with Aaron Rodgers. I almost got banned off TikTok for the thing that
Repaired MCL sprain on his knee. He has had some nagging hamstring issues over the years.
D. Lots of fun words start with D. Like bye weeks.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
Yeah!
That was good. A little creepy, but it was good. Welcome in. It's not the Friday night breaking out. It's the Thursday night breakdown tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to get you ready for your fantasy playoffs. Either you're having them now or you're getting in. We're here to get those lineups set. So let's get things started tonight. We'll start with the introductions with Mr. Yeah. It's Andrew Sophistication LeDuc. Welcome in, sir.
No, it's not a fantasy show I want to watch, or at least not my type of fantasy, until Justin is standing up holding his balls for us. So.
And let's also welcome in Justin Big Balls Herrera. Welcome in, sir.
How do you know that's how my wife described me? Andrew, it's so funny that you said that. I was thinking the exact same thing. Is it really week 14 without those big balls moments? Like, it's time to give out those big balls awards. So if I'm gonna put a shout out here. If you're listening to this, first off, thank you, because you were making the world go round. But send in your screenshot of your big balls moves on week 14. I will give you a big ball shout out.
I was like, where is he going with it?
Yeah. Send it to TSS Fantasy at blah, 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 blah. Because Commissioner Cooper wants to see your big balls.
Speaking of balls, by the way, don't forget the Jester sack that we're giving away. Coming up soon. The Jester's filled his holiday sack with lots of signed autograph stuff. I've already forgotten everything that's in there, but there's good stuff in there. So leave your comments in. The Jester's watching. See if you're naughty or nice. Let's pay the bills real quick. If you're watching on YouTube, please do us a solid. Give us a like. Throw your fantasy questions in there. Subscribe to the channel. Little things stopping you from doing it. Big things popping for us when you do. We always appreciate that. If you're looking for some championship bling for your fantasy champion, look no further than Pro-Am belts. And of course, if you're doing some daily fantasy, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by the game that's on right now.
I know it's hard.
Go to the Fast Draft app, use the promo code TSS. We'll double that deposit up to $50. And on Sunday morning, wake up with us at 8 a.m. We're going to give you some ultimate DFS lineups to get you paid. All right, well, let's get things started tonight. Normally, we start our Friday nights with some news and talk about the game, but, the game's going on right now. Cowboys are in the red zone. It's 10-3 Lions. Been an interesting game thus far, and excited to see how this comes out. But let's get things started with injury news from our boy, Brian Scott from the Injured List podcast.
It's time to get your latest NFL injury updates with Brian from the Injured List podcast. The doctor is in.
I was about to sneeze. I'm like, oh, please give me like an extra second. I think it worked out well. I held it in.
Caught a mid-sneeze.
That means it's going to come out of nowhere.
Welcome in, Bri, on a Thursday night. Thank you for adjusting your schedule for us tonight. We always appreciate that. We got some big injury updates. People trying to get in these damn playoffs.
Dude, we got some breaking news. The 49ers are on bye. I don't have to talk about any 49ers players this week. This is awesome. I mean, that alone is breaking news.
The ears were, as soon as you said 49ers, my ear perked. I was like, wait, what? Another injury?
No injuries to talk about. And Brock Purdy's back, and look at all the guys that are coming back. Pearsall's back.
Fantasy Jesus is good to us this week. Fantasy Jesus is good.
I did the Blonde Blitz last night, and Deb and I talked. We didn't get into too much specifics, but the one thing I couldn't believe is how the 49ers every year for the last couple of years seem to like get all their guys hurt at the beginning of the season, them and the Chiefs, and then they get all their players back right before the playoffs and then go on this crazy run. This could be your year, Justin. This could be it.
So, Brian, speaking of that, if anyone would be interested, go to you're on our YouTube channel, go see the Blonde Blitz and Brian's
awesome
segment
show
in there. But can you bring up again that stat you brought up about the healthier teams getting to the playoffs? Because I think people will be interested.
Yes.
I know Leduc wants to hear this.
So I do a injury Super Bowl special every year, and what I usually do is I'll compile some statistics, not just from the NFL statistics, but some other websites as well that track injuries throughout the season. And what they do is they'll compile like team injury stats, which show like amount of time lost from each player due to injury, amount of money spent on lost time due to injuries, and all kinds of stats. Like, they break it down quite a bit. But the trend over the last few years, which I've kind of homed in more on as I've kind of gone through some of the data, has shown quite regularly that the two teams that end up in the Super Bowl, usually within the top 5 of least affected by injuries. And as of right now, week 14 here, as we head into week 14, those two teams are the Rams and the Patriots.
Well, did that factor in the injuries we suffered last week, though? So all of a sudden, the left side of our offensive line is... side of our offensive line looks like they're falling apart. And
no, that was current. That was I just researched that after Monday night's game. So
all right,
and they usually update it regularly because it goes off of injury reports and things that happened within each game. I mean,
feel a little better.
You can maybe shift it a little bit here and there, but usually those numbers are pretty much solid at this stage of the season. I mean, barring anything major over the next couple of weeks. The teams that are on the bottom of the list, Coop, are the Dolphins, the Commanders. Who else? There was a few other teams. I forget.
They're going to hamper that big playoff push you said they were going to make.
And everybody else just kind of falls somewhere in between. But the 49ers didn't make it in the bottom, and they weren't at the top, even with all their injuries. And the Bucs also, even with all their injuries, didn't make it in the bottom or the top. And they're another team that's getting super healthy at just the right time, despite Baker Mayfield's little banged up shoulder thing there. So those are some teams to look out for that maybe people were kind of putting on the bottom of the list, because there's nothing better than being healthy and making a playoff run. I mean, it's a whole different animal once you get to playoffs. And so, that's kind of what Deb and I talked a little bit about.
Let me just be the first to say nobody except for the goofballs in Massachusetts want to see the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That's all I'll just say. All right, Brian, what do we got for week 4 or week 5, whatever fucking week we're in? What week? What do we got?
14. Well, a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff to talk about. I'll try and keep it short and sweet. But, Justin Herbert with that fractured hand had surgery on Monday. Some reports said he had a screw and a plate put in, which makes me almost guarantee that it was a metacarpal fracture, which if you're going to have an injury to the hand, that's probably the best thing to fracture, believe it or not, because you can splint it in a position of function. Jason, you might know that, which actually allows you to kind of almost grasp things like normal, which means he could probably handle the football pretty well at his non-throwing hand. And there was video of him taking snaps today during practice with some type of brace on. He looked pretty good. And if you had to compare his injury to what's his name? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Aaron Rodgers and who was the other quarterback that had an issue with his hand or wrist? Well, anyway, of all those guys, I would take Justin Herbert because that's the best injury to play through, given that it's your non-throwing hand. Oh, I'm sorry, Jaden Daniels with the elbow. He was the other guy. I would take Herbert, followed by Daniels, followed by Rodgers. So just different injuries, but all affect you in different ways. Luckily for all of them, it was their non-throwing hand. So I think we'll see Herbert. Even though they've been giving some first-team reps to their backup quarterback, he looked good, man. And they're saying he could be ready. It's a big risk, but they kind of need him. They're kind of battling for a playoff spot. So speaking of Jaden Daniels, he looked good too. He's been practicing, doing stuff with the team. He's had his elbow injury, as nasty as it looked, wasn't as serious as people thought, which with the first time dislocation to the elbow, again, non-throwing side, upper extremity. I mean, you could play through that. As long as that elbow's stable, he'll probably have a brace on. He didn't at practice, but he wasn't doing anything contact, so you don't really need it. But during the game, he probably will have something on, but it should not affect him at all. I mean, it's just non-throwing elbow. It just may kind of make him a little bit more tepid when scrambling and taking a hit. But other than that, it shouldn't affect his ability to drop back and make passes. Lamar Jackson hasn't looked right in weeks. I think maybe 4 weeks to be exact, where he's kind of tanked, based on his kind of standards. And a lot of people are saying it's a hamstring issue still. And that could be it. I mean, they put an ankle injury now this week, I think, on him, and he didn't practice, I think, 1 day or 2 days this week. So I don't really know what's going on with him, but he hasn't looked right in a while. And a lot of people are saying it could be the hamstring still lingering. So that could be the case. And if that's the case, he might not be right for the rest of the season. JJ McCarthy is coming back from his concussion. No issues there as far as I know. Sam Darnold was listed with an ankle thing. It sounds like it's nothing serious. He'll probably play through it. Daniel Jones has been dealing with some type of fibular fracture. That could mean any of numerous types of fractures. We don't know for sure. We are assuming that it's some type of avulsion fracture, which is basically like an ankle sprain, and that's why he's playing through it. That's got to be it. I can't imagine any other ankle fracture that they would let him play through except for that, and they specifically named the fibula. Now, I don't think you'll see anything better than what you saw this past weekend as far as him. If he doesn't play through that, he's going to continue to have swelling and pain. He's not going to be 100% until he has time to adequately rest. Even with an avulsion fracture or sprain, he's going to have to play injured the rest of the way. Shockingly, Deshaun Watson is making his comeback. They opened up his 21-day practice window. So see what happens, kids, when you stick to the game plan and you follow through in the protocol and don't screw it up like you did the first time. Amazing. Yeah. You make it back in record time. So there you go. Amazing. Running back.
I've heard he's been getting massages on his. It's taking care of it.
Maybe that's what he was missing. They were more scrutinizing his rehab last time. I don't know. Aaron Jones dealing with what some considered a re-aggravation of an AC joint sprain from week 9. I think we'll see him play. If I'm not mistaken, he was practicing this week in a limited capacity, but it's something he could play through. So I think we'll see him. Speaking of practicing and playing with an injury or coming back from one, Amarian Hampton looks like he's going to be activated. I think we will see him. If they're going to put Justin Herbert out there, I can't imagine they wouldn't put Amarian Hampton coming off this high ankle injury, possible fracture thing that he had. He's several weeks into his 21. I think he's like a week or two into his 21-day window, so they should be activating him. And all reports are kind of indicating that as well. We're not going to see Trey Benson again. Mm-mm. We might not see him the rest of the year. They have next week to activate him. If they don't, he's on season-ending IR, and that's done. 2025 is done for him. We're not going to see Alvin Kamara this week yet. MCL sprain. He hasn't done anything in practice. It sounds like he's going to be a no-go. I said it could be anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. So he's entering that time frame. We'll see what he does next week, if he does anything. Amon-Ra St. Brown made it back tonight, right? He's playing.
He's looking fine, too.
Yeah,
he looked great in warm-ups and stuff. So far.
Yeah, he looked great in warm-ups. So kudos to him on doing a good job getting back. Woody Marks playing through some ankle stuff. I think he'll be fine. Nothing serious there. Kyle Manunge was listed with an ankle issue. I think he'll be fine. He's been practicing through it. It happened at some point this past weekend, I think, but it didn't sound like it was anything serious. Roman Dunze, no show at practice the last 2 days with some type of foot injury. He played the same amount of snaps on this past weekend, or Friday, I think, when they played the Eagles, but wasn't very productive. You have to wonder if maybe because of that foot. I don't know. But that's something to keep an eye on for sure. I don't think we're going to see him this week. And that could be something to really pay attention to because it could linger for more than this week. Drake London, he ain't coming back. I don't know what's going on with him, but that's not surprising either, man. With the PCL injury, we saw Ricky Pearsall miss a lot of time. We saw Brock Bowers miss a lot of time with that injury. He hasn't even gotten back to doing anything as far as I know. We talked about the Bucs. Mike Evans coming back. He entered his 21-day window. He's probably going to come back this week. I mean, clavicle's had enough time to heal. It's an upper body, so he should be able to maintain his conditioning while recovering from that. And then there are other who's their other receiver coming back?
Godwin.
Godwin's back.
Godwin came back. You got Bucky Irving back. And then Jalen McMillan.
Jalen McMillan, yeah.
With the neck was cleared by his spine surgeon or doctor or whatever, and he entered his 21-day window. I think we'll see Mike Evans before Jalen McMillan, just because he might need more time to ramp up his practices before he gets cleared or gets back out there. But they're both in their 21-day window and potentially could be seeing action this weekend. T. Higgins should be coming back. He had a full practice today, which gives him enough time. Plus, I think they play on Monday night, right? So that extra day helps, and he should be off concussion protocol. Marvin Harrison did not step back on the field with a new heel injury, which does not bode well for him because he got that coming off of his appendix surgery, his first game back. That's not good. I don't know if we're going to see him this week. Parker Washington dealing with, I think, a hip pointer. Didn't sound like anything serious. He was limited in practice. We should see him. Jaden Reed is one step closer to getting back off IR. He looked actually really good today on some video I saw of him running routes, and I think he's also entered his 21-day window. He should be good to go. They made a roster move to release one of their rookie wide receivers in anticipation of either him or Golden coming back, and they've officially ruled out Golden, so we will probably see Jaden Reed. Josh Downs dealing with some hip thing, not exactly sure what that is, but doesn't sound serious. We should see him. And then Dalton Kincaid made it back from practice for this hamstring issue and had a knee brace on. So your guess is as good as mine as what the hell he's dealing with. But he was actually doing drills with the team, not just working on the side. So maybe that hamstring is good, and this knee thing is some other thing that crept up on him, and they're just being cautious. I don't know. But it looks like he's trending toward being back in there this weekend as well. And they play Monday night too. So I think he's got the extra day will help. That's it.
Nice. Well, keeping you busy as always, my friend. Go check out Brian, the Injured List podcast, mainly on X, but you can find him everywhere else on all social media platforms. And, of course, right here on That Sports Podcast Network. And, of course, Wake Up with Bri on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Justin, nobody wants to see you cleaning your fucking nails. All right, we're going to...
He's getting in a good technique, though. He's getting in there good, cleaning the cuticles. Look at that. He's doing a great job.
You missed a little bit on that one. You might
He's
want to
doing
go
a good
back
job.
in. Fuck is this? You're on mute.
Looks like a mini buffer for your nail. What was that? Was it your headphone?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can't hear you though. So you obviously put it back together wrong.
All righty. Well, we'll see Bri on Sunday morning, and we'll see Bri out with our friends from NeuroGuard Plus. Thank you so much, my friend.
Dr. Michael Hutchison has harnessed the latest in neuromuscular dentistry and impact technology to develop a mouthguard that does more than protect. It enhances. NeuroGuard Plus isn't just a mouthguard. By focusing on the jaw's physiological position, it provides an added layer of neuroprotection, significantly reducing the risk of sports-related neurological injuries. All athletes should be using a custom mouthguard designed to their bite position. NeuroGuard Plus was created as a means to maintain your physiological jaw position regardless of your bite. The appliance is designed to optimize your upper-lower jaw relationship to improve your strength, your balance, your oxygen intake, and drastically lower your chance of a concussion. Independent studies have shown that the NeuroGuard Plus will provide you with improvement to both upper and lower body strength. The same improvements were not present with a common mouthguard. Over 6,500 athletes have used the NeuroGuard Plus. Dr. Hutchison is happy to say that the amount of diagnosed concussions is 0.2%. The NeuroGuard Plus offers athletes, coaches, and parents an advantage to keep their players safe on the field. If you or your child actively participates in athletics, they need to be protected from the dangers of repetitive head trauma. Get your NeuroGuard Plus mouthguard today. Click on the link and use code ILPSports for 10% discount on your purchase.
All righty. Looks like we had a fumble. Cowboys were driving. Nice catch by CD Lamb, but a fumble. I missed what the hell happened.
It was on like 3rd and 21 because Dak Prescott dropped back like 15 yards and then threw it backwards for a fumble.
Yeah, backwards.
It was so.
And then coincidentally, Jake Ferguson, the problem child from the previous play, caused the fumble on this play. So
right.
Yeah, the offense is not as smooth as I was expecting them to be in this matchup, but I'm sure we'll get some fireworks here in a little while because right now the Lions have a 1st and 25.
Well, and the Lions' pass rush is wreaking havoc on the Cowboys right now. Anytime they get something going, all of a sudden Prescott's got 6 guys on him.
That's what she said. All righty, let's break on down Week 14.
It's time to get your lineup set with TSS Fantasy's Friday Night Breakdown.
Breakdown.
Bring it on down.
Breakdown.
Bring it on down. Bring it on down.
Wish we had like a studio because it'd be cool to see Fred do that every Friday for sure. All right, let's get things started. We got a great matchup to start with, too. The Tennessee Titans at the Cleveland Browns. Tennessee against fantasy QBs are 22. They're 20th against running backs. They're 26th against receivers and 10th against tight ends. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, the Cleveland Browns, they are 4th against QBs, 9th against running backs, 4th against receivers, and 13th against tight ends. LeDuc, who you like on the Cleveland Browns?
So I do like Quinshon Judkins this week. I think he's going to be able to do some work for this Browns offense. If they're smart, they're going to give it to him early and often to kind of hopefully ease Shedeur Sanders into this game because they put way too much on him right out the gate because of how he looked when he came in midway through the game in his first appearance. And they expected him to be the savior, unless he's just not at this point. So if they're smart, they give the ball to Judkins in a plus matchup, and they ride him. Outside of that, I'm because of how I think they should handle Sanders, you can't trust Judy, Tillman, Bond, Fan. This is a Judkins game.
LeDuc, I'm sorry. Justin, I apologize for giving you the visiting. I just noticed. So Tennessee Titans. Whoa. Anything you like there?
No. I mean, Fantasy Jesus will make this will echo my sentiments in saying, no, just don't start any Titans. It's not worth your time. I mean, it's week 14. This is where we put the trusted guys in because we're trying to get those buys. We're trying to make those playoff appearances. I don't trust a Titan in my lineup, so just leave them all out of your lineup.
David Montgomery. Big run against this putrid Cowboys run D, which actually has improved, but
the last 2 weeks it's actually been pretty good.
Yeah, they've been pretty decent, but this like I don't know with the Sonic and whatever the hell the other one is. Knuckles. There you go. It's a pretty lethal combo.
I should have stuck with the Lions pick.
That's why I was. That's right. Yeah, thanks for calling that in early.
Look at that.
Oh,
he just ate it up too. Like he just waited for that to patiently open up too.
Yep.
He just let his line do the work.
Wasn't worried about any of those Cowboys tackling him. By the way, in this matchup, I would just like to put in there top 3 defense this week is those Cleveland Browns. And speaking of that, just to throw this out there, because we are a fantasy show, if you are going into the playoffs or in the playoffs, watch your waiver wire because people do silly things. One of the guys in my conference that's been good is probably the guy I'm going to see in the championship, on the conference championship, dropped the Chiefs defense for the Vikings this week, not knowing that when I play him, if he makes it there, week 16, Chiefs play the Titans. So we'll see you then, bitch. All right, let's get on to the next matchup. The Seahawks at the Falcons. Seahawks against fantasy QBs are 13th. 7th against running backs, 8th against receivers. They're 28th against tight ends. On the Atlanta side, they're 16th against QBs, 25th against running backs, 19th against receivers, and 2nd against tight ends. Justin, what do you say about the Seattle Seahawks this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think this has got to be a bounce back game for Darnold. While the team looked really good, he played really poorly for the situation he was in. Everybody thought the big redemption game against Minnesota. Turns out Minnesota's defense is really good. Just everything else about that team, like Max Brosmer, I'm sorry, dude. I hyped you up more than I hyped up anybody. But Jesus Christ, dude, that was terrible. But anyways, I think this is just a rebound game in general for Seattle. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba puts it back together. I think he gets another 100, 120-yard game. This is another good game. This is a great game if you have any of the Seahawks running backs for a flex, because we know that they can't be trusted as real starters, especially when you're only putting up 8 to 10 points. The only one I wouldn't put it on is the tight end, because Barner is he's fizzled from what he was in week 5.
Yep.
Let me just interject one other thing too. Not to be constantly talking about defense, but man, the leading fantasy point getter last week was those Seattle Seahawks defense.
Yeah.
Playing against
the best
Atlanta.
score of the week. It's the best score of the year. I mean, they had 40 points in most people's leagues. And then, I think before that, it was like week 3, Minnesota. Ask me how I know that. My father-in-law barely beat me because he played the Minnesota Vikings, who scored 37 points that week. Like, my God, dude.
Big shout out to Dave Rochiers, who came on our show in the summer. Played a whole golf round while he was on the show with us. And, he's an ex-NFL player, played for the Seattle Seahawks, and, as offensive lineman. And the one input he had for fantasy was he said, go pick up that Seattle Seahawks defense. And he was right money. I'm so glad I listened. All right, Leduc, what do you say about the Falcons this week?
Yeah, so this is interesting because we've seen the Falcons be super inconsistent this year. And this is one of those weird games where Seattle's coming literally corner to corner across the country. We've seen some weird things happen. I still think Seattle wins this, but I think if the Falcons plan this out right, Kirk Cousins to Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts just dinking and dunking, if they can do that and kill some clock, they can keep themselves in this game. And Kirk Cousins, his ceiling is about what we've seen the last 2 weeks, about 13 points. So he can get that for you this week. I think Bijan Robinson, he had 7 targets last week, plus all the carries he's getting. Like, he's going to be a slam dunk. You got to start him, but definitely keep an eye out on Kyle Pitts here. Cause like I said, I feel like the Falcons are going to come in and try to do a lot of, quick, like death by 100 paper cuts. Cause that's the only way they really have a chance against the Seattle team, because, Mooney is not going to take it over the top. In London, you're probably not going to have him. So they're going to have nothing downfield. And Seattle's going to know that, so they're going to have to scheme something up special here. And like I said, they might have some jet lag on their side.
And that is literally the only chink in that defense has been against the tight end. So could see a decent day again for Pitts this week. I mean, I wouldn't trust
We used to say it way too much. Everyone does.
You better pray for it. Not something I trust. All right, so in a decent game, Colts at the Jaguars. Colts against fantasy QBs are 12th. They're 12th also against running backs, 24th against receivers, 28th against tight ends. Jacksonville, they're 24th against QBs, 5th against running backs, 20th against receivers, and 31st. I was like, did I put that right? Yeah, 31st against tight ends. All right, Leduc, let's go with those Indianapolis Colts. Who you like and don't this week?
I got the Jaguars.
Yeah, you're home. Fuck. I was going to fuck that up. I was sitting there saying, I'm going to do this really good tonight. I'm not going to forget. All right, Jaguars.
Oh, it's good. It's good because I actually really like the Jaguars this week, and it's a sneak peek to Sunday, but Trevor Lawrence should be a smash start in this game. I think this is just going to be a game of points. I'm not saying the Jaguars are definitely going to win this game, but I think there's going to be points both ways in this game. He seems to be finding his groove with Jacoby Myers, so I expect that to continue. And Bretton Strange as well. He's getting comfortable with that. So Bretton Strange has slowly but surely worked his way up this tight end rankings this year in the league. So I like Lawrence. I like ETN, Strange, Myers. I like them all. Tootin could even slide it. Like, we've seen Tootin get into the end zone a couple times now. So I like this Jaguars team. I say you're pretty much safe playing any offensive guys from both of these teams, because I think this game's going to have points.
Yeah, and if those that don't follow the AFC South, if you don't recall, last year these teams split 37-34 was the one score and 26-23 in overtime. Right. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be some good points, so I'm excited for this. George Pickens, was he flagged for that there? Okay.
Yeah, of course. He had him beat bad.
Oh.
Yeah, but they called offsetting because it looks like illegal hands to the face.
So illegal hands to the face, which is definitely blatant. All right, Justin, let's go with those Indianapolis Colts.
Man, for anybody who says that George Pickens would have been the same Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh missed out, nah, he wouldn't. Nope. This is totally George Pickens getting around CeeDee Lamb elevating his game. But anyways, the Colts, I mean, like Leduc said, it's kind of like not really a bad option for any play. I think I'd probably go Josh Downs over Michael Pittman at this point. Michael Pittman just seems to be, I don't know, he's lost in the sauce right now of his own team. I mean, you got Alec Pierce everywhere. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know. It's
Yes, sir, DJ.
While you're talking, we get this. Love it. DJ Master, thank you, sir. We appreciate that.
Yes, sir. But, he seems to get lost in the sauce of, being that guy who's just kind of the third man at this point, even though he's supposed to be the first man. So I like Downs. I like Warren, Jonathan Taylor. And then, I think Alec Pierce has really been the difference maker as far as like being a downfield threat on this team. So DJ Master, you're the man. Jesus loves you too, buddy.
What about Alec Pierce? I didn't hear you mention him. He's been
That's what I said. I said it at the end.
My bad. I was reading DJ Master. My bad.
You were still only on the fourth. Jesus loves you.
It took me a minute. I love it. All right, let's get to the next one. The Commanders at the Vikings. The Commanders against fantasy QBs are 30th also against running backs, 27th against receivers, 26th against tight ends. But they're facing the Minnesota Vikings, who can't find any offense this year. They're 9th against QBs, 19th against running backs, number 1 against receivers, and they're 19th against tight ends. Justin, what do you say about the Commanders' chances this week?
I like it. I think Jaden Daniels has a real good opportunity to come back into a big situation. Terry McLaurin looks fantastic. By the way, sneak peek to Sunday, Terry McLaurin right now on DraftKings, 5,200. That is crazy for a guy who just had 14 targets against one of the best secondaries in the game, had 96 yards on 7 catches, and I believe a touchdown. Dude's fucking killing it. And he just showed that he doesn't have to be on the field all year long to kill it. He can come in off an injury. So, yeah, I love those two guys in this matchup. Could be a sneaky matchup also for Zach Ertz now that McLaurin is back. Zach Ertz was a big Jaden Daniels guy. And then as far as the running backs go, I don't think I trust Chris Rodriguez enough in this game with my fantasy playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to put him in my lineups. Not that he's a terrible option, but he's more just like of a flex if you need it.
I like it. Leduc, what do you say about the Minnesota Vikings?
Well, I think we finally found the secret to J.J. McCarthy being better. It's watching Max Brosmer. J.J. McCarthy's not going to do anything
Trey Lance puts on his tape to feel good.
Remember the time?
Don't play JJ.
Remember the time that Justin went on a long rant about the homework he did on him?
Hey, I'll never get those 2 hours back in my life. I'll never get those 2 hours back in my life.
That was a fun text chain. Anyways, JJ, he is going to be back, it looks like, but I'm not expecting ceiling games for him. But it should help Justin Jefferson in this offense even back out, because 10 targets for Jordan Addison is not what fantasy managers need at this time of year, because Jefferson is single-handedly going to possibly bring down one of my teams where I play 2 matchups a week, and I was on a roll for the number 1 seed, and now I am fighting for like the 5th seed because I've lost both matchups 2 weeks in a row because of Justin Jefferson. So I like Jefferson to get back on track this week with actually some accuracy, because he had 6 targets last week and only 2 receptions. That's not Justin Jefferson's fault. I'm sorry. He's not a dropper. That's some accuracy from the quarterback. So I think JJ is going to be better than Max was. So Jefferson should get back on track with at least a floor game. The running backs are a question. We don't know what Aaron Jones is doing. So I expect that to be pretty much a 50-50 split. And the ghost of TJ Hawkinson is going to stay in the attic this week.
So to counteract DJ Master, by the way, who said
what's going on
loves this. I just wanted to let you know, DJ, that Mama say that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth, but no toothbrush. That's all. All right, let's get to the next one.
Oblongata. Medulla oblongata.
Mama. That's the best scene in that movie, man.
It is.
It's so funny, bro. He's like, Mama say. No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's the best. All right, let's get to the next one. And by the way, not that Adam Sandler will ever sniff this podcast, but bro, how the fuck could you never make a Waterboy 2? I gotta see your dumbass.
Don't do it.
No, I'm fine. What do you mean? I'm fine with that.
Why would you want that?
Why would you? I'd want that. I want to see him go in the pro. Well, back then, I'm not talking about now. I just meant back then. Like a couple years later, we should have saw Bobby Boucher in the pros, bro. And I thought, even at the end, he saw Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher in the stands. I thought, oh, for sure, they're gonna have him in the pros. I was all excited. Like, come on, bro. I gotta see you and your what's the one with all of them? All them get together all the time. We saw like 4 of them with him.
Grown-ups?
Yeah.
Grown-ups.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, that's because how can you not keep making multiple movies when you got Kevin James in the cast?
Yeah,
bro. Like
he's got to somehow find a way to pay Rob Snyder. Rob Snyder has to somehow get paid. That's in their friendship clause.
I mean, the fact of the matter was that they, I know he made those movies.
Nobody's doing a hot chick 2, Jason. Nobody's doing a hot chick 2.
I know, but listen, at the time, there's definitely a year later should have been a Waterboy 2. That's all I'm saying. It would have killed. I mean, I'd have been all up in it, man. Whatever. Anyway, fuck grown-up movies. Like, I thought the shit was so dumb. All right, let's get to the next one. The Bengals at the Bills. So the Bengals against fantasy QBs are 27th. Dead last against running backs, 6th against receivers, and they're dead last against tight ends. Buffalo is number 2 against QBs, 29th against running backs, 11th against receivers, and they are number 1 against tight ends. So, LeDuc, what do you say about the Buffalo Bills?
Pretty straightforward when it comes to Josh Allen, James Cook. You start them. Keep an eye on, like Brian was saying, what's going on with Kincaid at the tight end position here. Because if Kincaid is healthy, well, I should say if Kincaid plays, I don't mind tossing him in as like a flex tight end or something like that, because it's unfortunately too much of a toss-up between Shakir and Coleman. Now that Coleman's been released from his little benching for whatever reasons that was, like he's gonna be in the mix now. Shakir's getting like all the short plays and then the funky trick plays, and Coleman's running the actual route. So like that's just a nightmare scenario there when it comes to Josh Allen and that receiving core. So this is pretty much just slam dunk James Cook. He's gonna be this offense in this game against this terrible Cincinnati Bengals defense.
Yeah, indeed. DJ Master, by the way, loves all his movies. Apparently, he thinks they're all good. All right, Justin, what do you say about the Cincinnati Bengals?
Man, this is such an easy one. Just play everybody in this one. Yeah. I mean, everybody. Yeah. Joe Burrow. You know what's weird is that Josh Allen can be the leading quarterback in fantasy, and you could have not one good player anywhere else. Right. For James Cook. James Cook was good. But it's like your wide receivers, none of them would snip like the top 50. And you go, what the fuck's going on there? Joe Burrow's not that way. Joe Burrow feeds his dudes. Joe Burrow feeds Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow feeds Chase Brown. Chase Brown, if you held out for Chase Brown, the tide is turning, my friend.
7 targets last week with the return.
Oh my goodness! Everybody plays better with Joe Burrow in the offense. He made the defense play better. He made safeties hit better. Man, that guy is good.
Both my running backs for DraftKings this week, James Cook and Chase Brown, right from this game, because it's going to be smash starts.
Thank you, DJ. At least you're doing something good in life. Thank you. We appreciate it. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you. Yeah, bro, I am 1,000% behind you there, Justin. I think you're just in both sides, but as Justin alluded to, it's just there's nobody you can trust on the receiver side. You can maybe flex Khalil Shakir and hope that something good happens, that he targets him. Because other than that, bro, you are so spot on, man. You just never know who the hell is going to get the ball in this offense. I mean, like I said, if Dalton Kincaid is there, then he's definitely probably the only guy I'd be really interested in. So, yeah, analysis.
Yeah, he would be the only one I trust at this point.
Put the school softeners away. I said that.
No, I don't even know if I don't even know if I'd feel good about that though. Still, because
that's like
too, you know, it's like
that's a situation where you might be forced to have to take that risk if you're going to throw Dalton Kincaid in as like a flex tight end. Yeah, no, I feel that
it could be high reward, but it could also cost you your matchup. So
it could, but
sure.
With the injuries that are out there, you never know.
That's true. All right, let's go. Saints at the Bucks, and Saints against fantasy QBs are 11th, 16th against running backs, 13th against receivers, and 16th against tight ends. On the Bucks side, 28th against QBs, 25th against running backs, 22nd against receivers, and they're 15th against tight ends. So, Justin, what do you say about the New Orleans Saints?
It's almost Tennessee Titans level, but I'll say this: just because the Bucks are quite a bit worse than the Browns, and that's not even a knock. I mean, the Browns are really good on defense, so the Bucks are probably like mid on defense. Yeah. And last week, Chris Olave did have himself a game, so I will say Chris Olave is an okay start, okay wide receiver 2, and I would say pinch material. Like real pinch material, I would put Devin Neal out there. But I don't know. I don't know if I trust.
The only thing I'm gonna counter you a little bit and just say game script might dictate, and you know they do not care if Shuck throws the ball 50 fucking times. So the only thing I may say is that because of game script, you could see maybe even Vele again. He looked really good last week, against America's team. I mean, he looked good, but I wouldn't trust him, mind you. I guess my point is that there could be some good points coming out of the Saints offense. Justin doesn't.
Well, this was about the time of year that Vele started popping for the Broncos last year too.
That's true.
This is about that time. Some guys are just like that.
I mean, he looked good. Running sharp routes, he looked good.
I completely agree. If you put Vele in your lineup and you win, you'll definitely be getting mentioned in my big balls moment of week 14. I guarantee you that. Because I ain't doing that.
Big balls
I
moment.
ain't doing that.
Put Vele in your lineup. Yo, DJ Master coming up big tonight with a new sub in the house. We appreciate you immensely. But I do have one question for you. No, just messing with you. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you indeed. We got a comment here from Beetlejuice. The Chargers have a chance.
Oh my God!
Their division.
You see the picture, bro?
Yes,
you guys have seen the Howard Stern show, right?
Yes, 100% know who Beetlejuice is. Yeah.
All right, legit.
You know how many nights I fell asleep to that show as a teenager, just with on fucking E Entertainment.
I can't tell you how many times I've watched like old Howard Stern and Beetlejuice will just pop up on a random episode.
Yeah,
it's always the best episode too. Have you ever seen the one where he comes on with Mr. T and you're just like, oh my God, dude, these two together. It's legendary. He Lang whips into him in that one. Oh my God.
That's
Anyways,
funny.
keep on going with the show.
Bucks. What do you say about the Buccaneers this week?
Yeah, so the Bucks is gonna be, Chris Godwin's back. He looked good at being eased back in with only 5 targets last week, so I expect that to grow. The bigger topic here, other than Bucky Irvin looking like Bucky Irvin again and Chris Godwin being back, is that Emeka Egbuka in his last 7 games, and that's with a bye week smacked in the middle of there, has not scored. He's only scored double digits once. And on top of that, what's more concerning is last 3 games, he's had 8, and 9 targets, and he's still scored under 8 fantasy points. Emeka Egbuka is not anymore what you need. He was a nice flash at the beginning of the season. I'm not saying that means he's going to suck the rest of his career, but at this point, in the way that this offense is moving and had to adjust for the season, Emeka Egbuka is not someone that you can be matchup proof and start week in and week out and still expect to win your playoff matchup or get yourself to the playoffs. So it's more of a cautionary tale when it comes to the Bucks. Mayfield is going to continue to be Jekyll Hyde. But with Chris Godwin back, I expect to see his floor and just stay away from the tight ends really, because K. Dotton, same thing. He's just can't be dependable.
But you know what's so crazy? You look at their final. I'm sorry, Commish. I just wanted to say this. You look at their final stretch of games going into Week 17. It is so fucking juicy. New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, Miami, and he's getting 8 targets. Like, I get it. Mike is coming back, and Mike Evans is gonna obviously take some touchdowns. But if you're in a PPR league, if he's offering you 8 targets a game, that's 8 chances at 8 points or 4 points if you're half PPR. I mean, it's hard to take that out of your lineup.
He's just even with the targets though, he's like, 12 targets, 4 catches against the Saints. Against the Lions, against the Saints, 9 targets, 3 catches. Like, that's just so inconsistent that it's hard to trust that. I get that. Believe me, it's fun to chase targets in fantasy, and it makes sense. But there's a pattern growing that worries me.
All right, let's get to a used to be old timey fun matchup. I don't know what it's now, but the Steelers at the Ravens. Steelers against fantasy QBs are 25th, 8th against running backs, 31st against receivers, and 27th against tight ends. The Ravens 19th against QBs, 19th against running backs, 23rd against receivers, and they're 8th against tight ends. So, Leduc, who you like on those Baltimore Ravens?
Well, you got to like Derrick Henry just because even though the offense decided to ignore him and only give him 10 carries and 11 total touches, he still scored 16.9 points. So, I don't know why, whatever. Yeah. But you got to play Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson, I saw somebody post on, I think it was Facebook, play Lamar Jackson and Trevor Lawrence this week. I'm going Trevor Lawrence because, like Brian alluded to, Lamar ain't right now. And that's just the truth. It's just the reality of the situation. And even if he was right, Zay Flowers don't look right. Rashad Bateman don't look right. The passing game in this offense doesn't look right outside of the tight ends. Mark Andrews looks okay. Isaiah Likely last night, he had some big plays. He should have had an even bigger play for me in DraftKings, but whatever. Stupid whatever. But it's the only person you can trust in this offense is Derrick Henry and the tight ends. Outside of that, like you're really risking your season. If you don't have another, it's very possible you don't have a better option to start than Lamar Jackson. But if you have someone around the likes of Trevor Lawrence, something like that, then you got to start him over Lamar.
What about receiver-wise? Because this Steelers D all year has been good. Is there anybody receiver-wise that you really trust right now on the Ravens?
No, because so this is the thing. This is one of those in this division matchup and this rivalry game. It feels like one of those weird situations where like maybe DeAndre Hopkins gets a touchdown, but like it's not predictable. Like you can have all your gut feelings you want, but it's really they all have the same percentage of doing something. I don't trust that. Like I said, the tight ends are basically the receivers in this matchup for me.
Like it. All right, Justin, what say you on those Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, so talk about a team that's been let down city on offense and defense. Like, Jesus Christ. Can I get fantasy relevance anywhere? I mean, Rodgers, Metcalf. I don't think I can trust Metcalf going into playoffs. I mean, I don't think I can sit here and go, I'm going to put DK Metcalf in. I've already taken him out of one of my main leagues, my Fans and Family League, because I'm like, I need to clinch a bye. I don't want to put Metcalf in there. I'd rather put Abuka. I'd rather put Pittman. I'd rather put Rice. I'd rather put all these guys, which at the beginning of the year, I thought Metcalf was going to be like my golden goose at wide receiver. I was like, oh, this guy's going to fucking be awesome. Going to be like Devontae Adams all over again, and it hasn't at all. So for me, and just like Andrew said, like it's been so unpredictable because it's been like tight end city, but what tight end's going to go off? Brian Ruth goes for 2 touchdowns one game, and then Darnell Washington stumbles in for 8 catches and 80 yards the next. Like, I don't know what's going to happen there. And so the best thing you can do for this game is probably start Kenneth Gainwell as a flex and maybe Jalen Warren as a flex. And God help you if you have both on your team. And just roll with that, because that might be the only option you have here. I mean, I like them both, and they both seem to play every single game a healthy amount. So otherwise, it's just been so disastrous there as far as fantasy wise.
Yeah, it really, really has. You ain't lying. By the way, I just want to bring up again, Jonnu Smith. Hi. Remember when you would? Yeah, I remember the time, Yeah, okay, cool. All right, let's get to the game of the day, which I'll be getting up early tomorrow morning, flying up to New York City to be there live. It's America's team putting on that playoff push. The New York Jets. Miami against Hey, bro, I'm just going to say I called it. That's all. This is it, bro. We're going to win this one, and then we're going to start rolling here in a minute. Because you see the way he's good. Miami against fantasy QBs are 26th, 18th against running backs, 9th against receivers, 30th against tight ends. On the Jets side, they're 20th against QBs, 28th against running backs, 10th against receivers, 14th against tight ends. LeDuc, who do you like on those New York Jets?
So what's impressive about Miami is that early on in the season, you attacked their run defense. It was Miami, you played the running backs against them. The fact of where they were and now they're up to 18th against running backs is actually quite impressive. So they're hot on the defense there. Unfortunately for them, Breece Hall has looked good. He looked good last week on 19 carries, and he's really their only offensive weapon at this point. So at home, I expect Breece Hall to be serviceable as a running back too. Flex start. This offense did look better with Tyrod Taylor over Justin Fields. Not much better, but still better. And then outside of Breece Hall, I think he's really the only guy that you can feel confident starting, because who knows what you get with Stonehands Mitchell and John Mechie, who gets out there then commits penalties, and then you don't know what's going to happen. So it's really just Breece Hall, and then outside of that, if you got to start anybody else, then you are really crossing your fingers.
Justin, what about America's team, the Miami Dolphins?
I like Devon A-Chain, obviously. I have him as my number one guy this week. And then, I think it's hard to trust Jalen Waddle right now. He's been tough to trust in fantasy.
Yeah.
Because of Tua.
I don't know what's is it all Tua though? Or
I've
seen him be a little bit lazy.
Tua. Let me give me the mic for a minute. It is definitely this dumb fuck. After we got the interception last week, he's a perfect example. After we got whatever it was, a fumble interception. I don't remember what quarter it was, but we get the ball. I think it was at their 40 or 50 or somewhere in there. This dumb ass, he's got A-Chan wide ass open, and he throws it into double coverage to Jalen Waddle for no goddamn reason other than he wanted to throw it to the end zone when he had A-Chan wide open. Tua, it does not see the field right now, period. He is not a good quarterback. Anything that falls on Jalen Waddle is most definitely on his ass, and he better tighten the fuck up. Anyway, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all good. Tua is 3 letters, but I think there's 3 other letters that might be associated with him before it's all done. I think we can put that together, right? Now, just take a second. Indeed. Head injuries. What? Yeah. But anyways, I don't think I want to start him, but I think I want to get a piece of this receiving core. I think I want to get Darren Waller. Well, shit. I mean, Tua, unfortunately, has had a history of not really being the greatest against the Jets. We always think this is a money smash over start, and he doesn't always show up. So I'm going to just go this way. I think Darren Waller has a chance to be a very serviceable tight end. I think Devon Achane is the smash start of the week. I think he is just going to smash over. And then I'm going 100% hard on trying to acquire this defense off waiver wires. Because I think it's going to be they're absolutely getting to the quarterback. They're getting home. They're playing great defense in the secondary. And the Jets are the Jets, dude. They're relying on John Mechie and Mitchell. Like, they're literally relying on guys that teams said, here, have them. Because nobody fucking wants them. like, I know Ty God Taylor is back there, but he's one injury away from it being Justin Fields season again. And we all don't want Justin Fields season again. So I'm going to say, just go with those three. I know Waddle's essential to a lot of people's offenses. I don't think that he's really been that great this year, but he's been an upgrade over what he's been in the past. So I think I'll just go with those three.
I'd say he's a receiver 2 or flex option for sure this week. And like you said, definitely got to smash Achane this week. And I hope the defense does go up, because it'd be so fun to be standing there in the stadium with Freddie and giving him noogies as we're whooping his ass. All right, while we're on, let's take a quick break and get to the 4 o'clock games. Our girl Ballers Meg wanted to let you know what people she does not want in her Meg zone. Let's check it out.
Yeah! Here we go! Yeah! Yeah, baby, I'm in Mr. MEG zone today. Security.
Hi guys, welcome back to the MEG Zone, my exclusive club where only the best fantasy football players make it through the door. Everyone else gets stopped before they make it to the front of the queue. So let's start with my stoppages this week. First up, we've got Derek Henry from Baltimore. I do not rate him this season. You might have guessed. I have mentioned him several times on this series. Against a Pittsburgh side that is no joke, I would not be putting any risk, any faith in Derek Henry to get you the points this week. Next up, we have Jalen Waddle in Miami. They're facing a Jets side hot off one of the few wins that they've had this season, where last week against Atlanta, they looked stronger than they have for a long time. They were able to hold us against everything, and we could not get through them. So I would be saying just be careful of any Miami players, but especially Jalen Waddle. He always gets picked. He's one of the ones who we would hope to ball out. I can't see it happening this week, personally. Finally, we have Josh Jacobs over in Green Bay. I'm concerned by that Chicago Bears team, and I'm concerned that not enough people are talking about the Chicago Bears this season, because they're doing better than we could have expected, and I also just don't like that matchup. It's one of those matchups that could go either way. Be careful of Josh Jacobs this week. I know he's a very popular choice. I know he's high up in the ranking system. I just don't quite have faith in him this week. If you would like more hints, tips, tricks and advice, then you can watch along on Sunday morning with Wake Up With Football on TSS Fantasy over on that Sports Podcast Network. Or you can follow me at Ballers_Meg on all the social media platforms where you get your content from. And I will see you next week for week 15 of the MEG Zone.
Security.
We are never on the same page.
I was cracking up when talking about that. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, DJ, if you want to, whoops, wrong one. If you want to check her out on Sunday morning, she's on with us as well. Let's get to the next matchup. Broncos at the Raiders.
This is the first time I've ever seen Coop cry in this show.
This is a great send-off. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. I hope the Dolphins win too, because I've never seen you this happy before.
My God. All right. Broncos, God damn it, at the Raiders. I got to try to spit this out.
Wait,
Broncos against fantasy QBs are fifth, third against running backs, fifth against receivers, 18th against tight ends.
I'll take over here. The Raiders, don't start them. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Broncos. Who do you like on the Broncos, Justin?
Broncos, start them. Go ahead, Coop.
Yeah, there we go.
Kick it right back to you. I love it. All right. Happy Thursday to you too, Daniel Barry. We appreciate you for joining us. Yes, thanks for stopping by. Indeed. Cheers to you. And he's got school in the morning, but he will stay for a little bit longer. We appreciate that because you don't
spread the word at school.
You still let your mom see your flashlight under your sheet when you're watching us.
Yeah, bro. And you don't want to miss the sophisticated starts later. That's always good while we close out. All right, let's get to the next one. Rams at the Cardinals. Rams against fantasy QBs are 7th. 4th against running backs. They're 18th against receivers. 17th against tight ends. Cardinals. They're 10th against QBs.
Also, if there's any doubt that Meg was British, front of the queue got me. The queue.
The queue, right? Exactly. That's a great. Yeah, she always says that now. I'm like, oh, she's truly showing her European side for sure. 24th against running backs, 15th against receivers, 24th against tight ends. LeDuc, who you like on the Arizona Cardinals?
I mean, I still like Jacoby Brissett because I'm a Brissett believer on this show because nobody else is. So I'll take Jacoby. He's not done me wrong so far. Last 5 weeks, he's scored right around 20 points or more. So you gotta love that. Who knows what Marvin Harrison's gonna do, but he doesn't need him. He's got Michael Wilson. He's got Trey McBride. Trey McBride crushing it this year. So you got to just go there. Obviously, people know this, though. Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, they know this. What they want to know is the running game. Because Zonovan Knight back in there, Michael Carter is going to be in the mix as well. Like, I guess Trey Benson, like Brian said, who knows? I don't think we're going to see him at all. I think the only chance that's worth taking is Zonovan Knight. I think he's got the more upside over Michael Carter when it comes to big plays, when it comes to touchdowns. So if you need to start Knight in a flex, you can, but you're not going to feel confident about it. You're not going to feel good. You're going to need him to get a touchdown.
DJ, we are on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. next time, so we'll hope to see you early Sunday morning. Justin, what say you, my friend, on those LA Rams?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you can go wrong. Honestly, even Blake Corum got you a lot. If you were willing to start him, if you had the balls, the cojones to start him, you did really well last week.
I was 1 week early on him on DFS. I was 1 week early.
Bro, if you would have been 1 week later, you would have had some money, that's for sure.
I know.
But I'll tell you what, I really, truly believe that this is going to be a Rams showcase game. I think you're going to want to get Stafford in everywhere you can find him because I think that they're going to be pissed off from what the Carolina Panthers did to them. Exposed him for being the frauds that they are and the fakers and the losers and the not going to be in the Super Ballers. They exposed Matthew Stafford for what he is. Guess what he is? The guy who is 34th ranked all time in interception and counting because he likes to throw the ball away all the time. But anyways, I honestly, all jokes aside, Nakua, Adams, it doesn't matter. Just throw him in if he has an LAR next to his name.
Yeah.
Lions just put a touchdown on the board, and if you're ballsy enough to put in Tesla in your lineup, you got it.
Hey, DFS right here. Tesla was my captain. Let's go.
Nice.
I
mean, that's all he's done.
I don't think it's going to mean anything, but let's go.
So it's 27-9 right now. I feel like I gotta just put this up here because we did get a call earlier today for someone to switch their pick. So I even had to take the lone wolf out, unfortunately. So yeah,
I know. I should have just stuck with it. Apparently.
Oh, you should have asked who picked for the Cowboys. Oh,
I should. You know what? before I change my pick in the future, that's what I'm going to ask. By the way, who picked this? And then if it's Fred or Greg, I'm keeping my original pick.
I already was kind of, it's funny because I was kind of leaning that way too. But then, the more I thought about it, like, well, Lions are at home, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, they're not going to lose the game at home. And then when I saw Greg picked it, that was just the icing on the cake.
I wish I asked.
Yeah, I was like, nah, we're not doing it. All right, Bears at the Packers. Bears against fantasy QBs are 23rd, 15th against running backs, 25th against receivers, 12th against tight ends. On the Packer side, 6th against QBs, 10th against running backs, 12th against receivers, and they're 23rd against tight ends. Justin, who you like on the Chicago Bears?
Man. So Ben Johnson has a real good history against the Green Bay Packers. He's 5-1 as a coordinator for the Lions. And how did he do it? He kind of did it by balancing out his team. So, he had a really good run game with 2 running backs, and he had 2 wide receivers killing it. So, this is my long-winded answer, but I'm just going to keep it short here. Play your running backs, and unfortunately, I think with Caleb, I don't know if he's going to be that great. So I'd probably say stay away from your wide receivers, especially if Rome Odunze is not going to be there. If you want to take a long shot on Luther Burden in DFS, but don't take a long shot with him in your lineups. Because, if it's a long shot in DFS, you lose $1. If it's a long shot in your lineups, you lose your playoff spot.
Heard. Well said, my friend. All right, what do you say, LeDuc, on those Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, the Packers are like one of the most difficult teams in fantasy this year. With Jacobs being limited with a knee injury this week so far, I don't love that. The up in the air status of the receiving core in this between Watson, who looked good last week, Reed, who might be back. Like, it's Jordan Love being Jekyll and Hyde. I think this is ultimately a defensive game, a low-scoring game, and I give that edge to the Bears. So I don't really feel confident starting anybody. I guess just based off of recency bias, you got to play Watson because he seems to be the only guy that Love is connected with, because we just don't know what Reed's going to look like coming back. He hasn't played in months. So he hasn't played since week 2. So to expect Reed to come back and jump right back into it in an offense that is already so, like, sporadic, you can't trust it. It's hard to trust anybody here today, but if you really had to play someone, it would be Watson.
All right, I like it. I don't know if it's going to be that defense. I guess, I feel like Jordan Love steps up in big moments. This is a big fucking game right here. So I just feel
Bears
like
defense is just
it's
good.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I kind of agree with LeDuc in this one. And listen, I've shared those sentiments where Love steps up, but he also fucking backtracks in games in which you think he's going to step up.
He does.
He also does that a lot. He fucking goes poo-poo water when you're like, this is going to be Jordan Love's season.
And he's gone poo-poo water more than he's gone, stepping up. So
nothing like poo-poo water. All right, let's go to another, I think, a good defensive game as we're talking about Houston at KC. Houston against fantasy QBs are number 1, and they're 11th against running backs, 3rd against receivers, and 5th overall against tight ends. On KC's side, they're 17th against QBs, 6th against running backs, 14th against receivers, and 7th against tight ends. LeDuc, who you like on those Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, you got to start Mahomes. You got him, you start him. That's easy. Kelsey actually hasn't as much shit as we've given Kelsey this year. He's actually not been bad. He's not the Kelsey of old, but when you compare him to other tight ends, he's been fine. He has more double-digit fantasy point weeks than he doesn't. So you can start Kelsey this week in this game. Rashee Rice. And then when it comes to the running backs, I feel like this has been every team I've talked about tonight. It's a question of what's going on in the backfield. I still trust Hunt over Pacheco. I know Pacheco's back. Last week was his first game back. He's going to slowly work his way back into it. But even with Pacheco fully back into it, Hunt is still going to be their goal line guy. What a fucking – was that a catch or he dropped it? Oh,
and he's knocked the fuck out too.
Did he? Oh, I see him walking. Oh, he's wobbling like hell.
CeeDee Lamb with almost a touchdown
You
catch.
see that replay.
Yeah, he banged his head pretty hard.
I'm a little behind watching on my phone. So yeah.
Yeah, he definitely he stiffened up, but he's walking off the field now. But yeah, it's definitely a concussion. He's probably done for this one.
Yeah,
all right,
wobbling.
Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm done because, like I said, the last point was that if you got to play any of these running backs, I'd still rather trust Hunt for the touchdown upside over Pacheco, even though Pacheco will probably get some more passing work as each week goes on here.
Nice. By the way, Panthers Prime podcast, man, really great performance in the bed last night. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Dude, this guy is still going off the high of beating the Rams. He's on one right now. You see what he said about your mom?
I saw. Yes, I saw.
Justin, who do you like on those Houston Texans in this one?
Oh man, this is a tough one because I think it's going to be a defensive game because CJ Stroud can't get shit going, dude. Like, he is – I think it's legitimately the problem here. I was listening to a podcast, and Kurt Warner said this was his best game, and I said, what? This was his best game?
Well,
this
sadly,
Colts game that he just did. But it's like – he's still so bad. Like, I don't know what the has happened, but he's gone from being like a magician – to being like, get him off my team. He's not helping anybody. I think you still play Nico Collins because he's just been that damn good. Higgins looks all right. I wouldn't trust him with a flex spot this week, though. And then, maybe the only other person on this team I'd go ahead and give a shot is Woody Marks. He just has been doing it through the air and the ground. You might just have enough there to make something happen. But it's been real surprising how bad the Texans have been on offense, especially with how good they are on defense. Put Davis Mills back in.
So Pickens just caught the ball, but I believe he can't advance a fumble, or they called it a fumble for there, and then the Cowboys picked it up. So I don't think they're going to let him advance it, but Pickens got the ball down to the 1 for the Cowboys. All right, let's get to the last one, the Monday Night Delight. The Eagles at the Chargers. Eagles against fantasy QBs are 16th, 23rd against running backs, 16th against receivers, and 4th against tight ends. On the Chargers side, they're 3rd against QBs, 14th against running backs, number 2 against receivers, and 6th against tight ends. Justin, who do you like on those Philadelphia Eagles?
Just about, it sucks because I don't want to say Saquon. I want to say bench Saquon at this point because he hasn't been doing you any favors. But you spend a first-round pick, if not the number 1 overall pick on him. So you can't do that. This should be easily A.J. Brown game. I don't know who they're going to have cover him. I wouldn't be surprised Dallas Goedert has a good game as well. And then, Jalen Hurts. I feel like they got to have a get-right game. They got to have that challenge game that gets them going. And I think, Eagles, they're still a good team. They have a lot of hiccups. They have a lot of things to figure out this offseason, but they're still a good team at the end of the day. So I think that this is a game that's going to push them, and it's going to bring out the best in your fantasy players.
I like it. LeDuc, what do you say about the Chargers?
Chargers, okay. Sorry, there was a crash upstairs. I had to make sure everything was all right. So the Chargers, so I know what Brian said about Herbert. I'll be curious to see how – I'm just worried about the snaps. I know he said he should be all right with it being, my strong hand, whatever. But I got to see that. I'd be curious. Lad McConkey would be still the best option as far as the passing game goes here. Quentin Johnson fell off. Keenan Allen fell off. I'm not even sure I fully trust Gadsden anymore. He had really just 2 big performances, and then other than that, he wouldn't even probably be a top 12 tight end at this point. This is a very worrisome game if you're playing Chargers because you're really banking on Amari and Hampton coming back and looking what we expect him to be. And I'm not quite sure that's what we're going to get quite yet. So I'm worried about starting any Chargers player really this week. I don't feel confident with any of them.
Well, it's going to be a good matchup, I think, nonetheless, for sure. All righty. Well, if you've made it this far, you have made it to the finish line. And our boy, Andrew LeDuc, is in the house, and he's bringing you sophisticated starts of the week.
It's time to bring some sophistication to your fantasy lineups with Mr. Mallard.
Welcome to Sophistication Station. I'm Andrew LeDuc, aka Mr. Mallard of the Divots and Pivot Show. And this week, let's talk about your classy starts that are going to put you right over the edge to get you in the playoffs. Most playoffs either start this week or next week, so either you're in it or you still have a chance. So let's get to that. Let's start with James Cook with a blast matchup against the Bengals this week. Ranked 32nd against the rush. That defense is awful. James Cook should continue to be the main focal point of that offense. Feels like they got away from him a little bit last week. I expect them to use him more this week, so James Cook should be a smash start to get you over that finish line or get you to the next round. Then let's go with Chase Brown in the same game but from the other offense. With Joe Burrow back last week, Chase Brown had 7 targets in the passing game as well as the rushing attack that he normally has. So Chase Brown should be in for a big game as well. I think this game's going to have some points in it, so he should have a good chance of getting a touchdown. And then let's also get to Alec Pierce in a game that I also expect there to be points. The Colts and Jaguars. Alec Pierce, I think the Jaguars are going to be in the lead, so I think they might the Colts might take some big plays looking for Alec Pierce down the field. So I expect Alec Pierce to find the end zone today as well and be a real classy start for you. Anyways, if you missed it, that's Alec Pierce, that's James Cook, that's Chase Brown. Stay classy, my friends.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Now go win your fantasy matchup with class.
Win it with some class indeed, but be classless after you win. That's my advice. All right.
Or be classless in the chat, whatever you choose.
We appreciate you joining us tonight. Please wake up with us 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. I'll be live from New York City, which will be lots of fun. Me and the Jester will be up there wreaking havoc in New York. And we got lots of good stuff for you there. We got betting advice. We'll give you ultimate DFS lineups and, of course, our game picks. And Fantasy Jesus will bless your fantasy lineups. And we got our Sunday morning cartoon as well. So make sure you check us out on Sunday mornings. We appreciate you joining us tonight. Good luck. Hopefully you're doing well in your matchups tonight. And good luck in your matchups this week. We'll get you started Sunday morning. And we are out.